Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in to A Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. We plan to educate, enlighten, and entertain you a little bit. Hi, I'm Edie Hand, an author and a 3-time cancer survivor. And joining me is my co-host, Dr. Daniel Potts. Hey.
Hey Edie, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Well, I wanted our viewers to get to know us a little bit. You're an author yourself.
That's right. An author and a neurologist, and I've learned a few things about caregiving from my dad and my mom, Edie, along the way that I hope I can share with some folks.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. I wanted people to get to know just what that journey was like for you with dementia, Alzheimer's. What was that like for you? Because it's very personal.
It is very personal, Edie. It's a pleasure to be here and have the opportunity to tell folks about this. Edie, my dad was a solid American citizen. He was born in 1928 in the midst of the Great Depression in rural America, Pickens County, Alabama, the son of a sawmiller. And he grew up in a hard time, as we know. The Great Depression was a hard time. And he learned in that place the importance of ethic, hard work, food, family, love, and supporting one's neighbor. My dad grew up that way, and he continued to be that kind of man. Dad served in the U.S. military and the Army in the Korean conflict, and was a city councilman, a coach, a teacher, and just a good, solid citizen. Lester, after retirement, was afflicted with Alzheimer's disease, Edie, and
Isn't that tough? I think our lives change when we stop the routine sometimes. Isn't that statistically been proven?
It's absolutely true. I think that that may have brought out Dad's illness in a more rapid way, although he obviously was going to get it anyway. But Edie, the descent into Alzheimer's disease for my dad, me being a neurologist, was quite painful because I felt that I did not recognize his symptoms early, and I thought that I was in denial. And I think that's so common for those that deal with this illness.
Well, I hear it a lot, but is there a real difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
That's a good question. Yes, there is in a way. Dementia is a big term, which is sort of a general term, which means memory impairment bad enough to affect your daily life. So it affects your ability to pay the bills. It affects your ability eventually to dress yourself, feed yourself, remember appointments, etc. But under that category comes Alzheimer's disease, the most common cause of dementia. So I would like to say that college athletics is dementia and football is Alzheimer's disease.
That's a good analogy.
We like sports analogies in the rural South, don't we?
It's another religion. That's
right, that's right. Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia. Some 60% of cases of dementia are Alzheimer's disease. And it is a growing epidemic in this country, Edie. We have got over 5 million people affected with Alzheimer's disease in this country. Each one of them has about 3 caregivers. So we're talking about 15 million caregivers in this country. The numbers are going up all the time.
I'm blown away by all this. What can we do about it?
Well, if you look at the baby boom generation, we're going to have 10 million baby boomers that are going to unfortunately have Alzheimer's disease. And we've got fairly effective preventions for this disease, Edie, and most of them involve lifestyle changes.
So if you notice something happening to someone at earlier stages, you need to get them into their doctor?
You certainly do, and go to the primary care doctor first. And you may actually need to then visit with a neurologist or a geriatrician or some other person that's very trained in dementia. And the sooner you do that, the better, because there are effective treatments that don't cure the illness, but that actually are beneficial for folks that have it. They improve life quality, they improve behavior, and they can improve memory some.
Well, how did you and your family help your dad? Because his story is pretty fascinating. Anyway, matter of fact, this book right here, tell us a little bit how that all came about.
Well, the fortunate thing about my dad is as he was descending into Alzheimer's disease, he enrolled in a dementia daycare center called Caring Days. Caring Days had art therapy, music therapy, and other therapies. Lester, a sawmiller now, a rural sawmiller, who had never painted or drawn a picture in his life, became a watercolor artist in the throes of Alzheimer's disease, painting over 100 original watercolors. These watercolors now, Edie, amazingly, have been displayed everywhere from Beverly Hills to Manhattan to Paris, all across this country. And the first one he brought home to my mother saw this beautiful hummingbird that Dad had painted, and he said, "Look what I did, Mama, look what I did." She said, "Lester, who gave you that? It's so pretty." He said, "I did it myself." She said, "Oh, honey, did you trace that? Who gave you that pattern?" "No, I did it." He, in fact, had painted his first watercolor, a beautiful picture. Then came so many more. We were so moved by this that we put a book together called The Broken Jar, which you see here, that chronicles Dad's story through art and my poetry. Hey, me becoming a poet is about as amazing as Lester becoming an artist. And I wrote poetry to go with the art.
But you were inspired to do that, too.
I was inspired to do that because of the art, because this creativity came out of a man who had no longer been able to create.
Now, what website, if people out there, this is in rural America, so where could they go to find out about it?
We actually formed a foundation because we were so inspired about Dad's story. It's called Cognitive Dynamics, and the foundation is www.cognitive-dynamics.org. In addition, we have a dementia education company called Dementia Dynamics, www.dementiadynamics.com.
And would you tell our viewers out there also, where could they log on to on a website or phone numbers for the foundations and associations for Alzheimer's?
We have some wonderful caregiver resources in this country, including the Alzheimer's Association. The Alzheimer's Association can be found at www.alts.org. The Alzheimer's Foundation of America at www.altsfoundation.org. Two of these wonderful resources for caregivers and for patients.
Well, to me, this is what we're about. That's why you and I have teamed up to make a difference for you out there, right?
That's exactly right, Edie.
And now we've got some pretty exciting things in the show this evening. Not only we're introducing my good friend Wanaka that's come by to talk with me a little bit later about some of the books, but we're going to get in the kitchen. Did you know that I have a singing, cooking hairdresser?
I have heard that and can't wait to actually see that in person.
And I've got some funny friends we're going to have stop by, okay?
Great. Can't wait.
Right, and you will not want to miss it. So stay with us, right?
Come on back.
That's right here on Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with a doc and myself. Thanks.
If you woke up with pain this morning, you are not alone. Estimates are that nearly 1/3 of Americans will experience chronic pain at some point in their lives. Optimal Pain Control by Franklin Pharmacy works directly with your physician to create a pain cream for your unique needs. Our staff of pharmacists has over 30 years experience in compounding. OPC by Franklin Pharmacy's custom formulas are created for you to maximize pain relief while minimizing side effects. From minor aches to severe neuropathic pain, let us be your partner.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Hello, I'm Wanaka Ball, and this evening I have an awesome pleasure and a privilege to talk with one of my mentors, Miss Edie Hand. Hello, Edie.
Well, hey there, dear. How are you this evening?
I am wonderful. I'm so privileged for you to give me this honor to talk with you today.
Well,
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad we can share with the viewers a little bit of insight into what it takes to pave the way to do something bigger and better in your life.
Well, I want to start out with this first question, get this out the way.
Okay.
You're kin to somebody I think the whole world knows. Tell me about that.
Well, absolutely. The king of rock and roll is my cousin, Elvis Presley. And our grandmothers were sisters, Minnie Mae and Alice Hood. So it was a privilege for me to get to hang out with Elvis and all of his friends at Graceland, tell wonderful stories. These two women would dip snuff. We got black gum toothbrushes from my grandfather and grandmother's farm and take up there. To go to the singings, to be sitting at the Ellis Auditorium, then to sit in private places with Elvis and the group and hear all these great gospel singers perform. Oh, I could just go on and on about it. But it was a great, and a lot of lineage with my cousins that are great singers that were Nashville stars, winners. On and on. So I have, and I'm excited about it in my life. I've been so much fun. You can't go to a family reunion. I tell them that my grandmother had 12 children and 55 grandchildren. I told them I came from a family that was like a tribe, honey. So we had a large family.
Now tell me about your son.
Link is an actor, lives in Los Angeles. She's been there 10 years, works for Jimmy Kimmel Live, as well as doing his own thing through a production group, and I'm very proud of him.
That is wonderful. So we've got that out the way because I know that everybody's going, I know her. You yourself, you do a lot of writing. You've written over 20 books.
Yes,
Tell
inspirational cookbooks. I've written books of the heart with my ride series, The Last Christmas Ride, The Soldier's Ride, A Christmas Ride, The Miracle of the Lights. Our first movie in development. Takes a long time. Now I know what it means after 3 years we've been working. You get money, then you don't get the other money. You get money. I'm like, it's a hard thing to do, but we're going to do it.
Very good.
And then, to me, in putting together the Women of True Grit and 31 Things to Raise Your Child's Self-Esteem, was we put a program together called You Pave the Way to make a difference, encouraging one and giving you courage, choices, how you could build your own, self-esteem to have the character you need to do what you need to do in life through these programs, as well as with women. Passion, what you have to do, your perseverance, and to be able to project that. And so I've done that through these 40 great women like Dr. Maya Angelou, Barbara Mandrell, Meredith Vieira, the first woman decorated as a brigadier general. Their stories of the heart. I tell you out there that it does not matter where you come from geographically. You can be anything you want to be, and through these stories, these women allow it. I can tell you that the stories with Martha Bolton that wrote for Bob Hope and for Phyllis Diller, her to be a part of this, and we've done things together. It's not just, there's a good old boys club, this is a good old girls club. So all of these women have become friends of mine through different veins in life, and that's what I loved, was about building healthy relationships, and that's what I taught my son. But the importance of paving the way for someone else is to share your knowledge, and that's what Dr. Potts and I'll be doing throughout our series of shows and our books, is to share our knowledge and to be able to enlighten people in different situations and to entertain a little bit too. Now
you have a true grit story yourself. Tell me a little bit about your story.
Well, I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I lost all 3 of my brothers at young ages, at 19, 23, and 46. And through that, the good Lord gave me a compassion for my fellow man. So in building my foundation from that is that I do a lot with Children's of Alabama in my home area, as well as I work with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in raising awareness through my international Holiday Memories show that we do. So that's one of the things that we're letting people know here, is that who you're listening to and getting to know right here on this station is that Dr. Potts and I are just like you and I and everybody else. What you do is take a dream, and to make a dream happen is you take it one step at a time, Monica, one step at a time. And sometimes things don't always work out. And I remember my grandmother told me, she said, Edie, you can take a ride, honey. Sometimes you'll get in a mud hole and you get mud on you, but you can shake it off, girl. But there'll always be another curve. But girl, you can get around those curves. I just want you to remember, in life, there'll always be another ride, and you can do hard things. And so that's what I'm saying to you out there. You can do it.
Wow. I tell you, no matter how many times I hear it, no matter how many times you say it, it always sticks to me in the same way. I'm inspired, I'm encouraged, I'm motivated, and I believe you. And I believe you speak from a place of passion. So I'm privileged to hear you share your story and your motivation with us.
And thank you. And I hope everyone out there will be writing in and telling us who they have in their community that can pave the way for them. They can email me at ediehand@charter.net or log on to our website that is rxhealthylife.com. And check us out. We're going to be around.
We're going to be
going. Here we go. Thank you again for having this segment for me.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Well, I'm Monica Ball, and you've been watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts. We'll be back.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand, a portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and neurologist Dr. Daniel Potts, coming soon to RFD's new Rural TV network. Stay tuned here at 2:30 p.m. Sundays. Visit rxhealthylife.com.
Hi, I'm Edie Hand, here for Scott Crump Toyota in Jasper. Scott and I have teamed up to bring a program to your community to encourage and educate children on the importance of mentorship and self-esteem. Visit our websites.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Prescriptions for Healthy Lifestyles. We are here amongst the wonderful aromas of brain food today in Miss Edie's kitchen. And Edie has brought some friends with us, Juanica, and another friend she's going to tell us about as we talk about some nice, healthy recipes for us. Edie?
Well, thank you, and good to have all of you. And my good friend Deborah Stanford's here. And Deborah is not only my hairdresser, of course, y'all better not say something bad about my hair tonight, and she sings, and she's a good old Southern cook. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Miss Edie. It's always a pleasure.
Well, Deborah, you brought some salmon this evening.
Yes, I did. I call it super simple salmon.
Easy for you to say,
yes,
super
it's very
simple
easy.
salmon.
My husband and I, the jobs and the careers that we've chosen, we don't get home early, so I have to cook something nice and quick, and this is quick. It's
We're going to take 5 or 10 minutes, pop this in here, got a little olive oil going on.
10 minutes max. It depends on the depth of the fish, and this here, I would say a good 7 minutes, and it's done.
Hey, and Doc, she leaves the skin on it.
Yes.
That's even better for your brain, folks. Even
Is
better.
it really?
Yes, it is.
And why is that?
Well, you know, salmon has got omega-3 fatty acids, these polyunsaturated fats,
Right.
which our brain and our blood vessels need to maintain their health. And so salmon is just loaded with those good fats.
Yes.
Okay, well, and tell us what we got going on here.
This is rice pilaf here. But one thing, can I point out about the salmon?
You can do anything you want.
To people that aren't familiar with cooking fish, you can tell when fish is done if it flakes with a fork.
Flakes
it's
with a
done.
fork.
And you
We got a fork over there.
watch it
We
very
have a fork.
carefully because people have a real
Pass
bad
me a
habit
fork, Juana.
of overcooking fish. That's why a lot of people, I think, don't like fish because they overcook it.
Overcook it. Well, we're
Yes.
getting close.
Yes, that there is done.
Okay, now tell me what we've got here.
And
It's
this
a nice,
here-
quick, and easy meal to
Yes,
go with it.
this is rice pilaf here.
And you just get one box.
Yes, this is Uncle Ben's brand, and what we're going to do is we'll serve up the.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's my favorite brand.
Can
You can't move,
that
girl.
lid
There you
there.
go.
Yes, if you will, Miss Edie, hand me that plate there, and I'll plate this up.
Well, and while you're plating that up, I want you, Monica, would you please show us how we can do that? Is a spring salad.
Yes, it is.
Easy. I mean, you can pick that up anywhere at your deli, near your deli's, fresh garden vegetables, and just pick up one of those little jewels. And now, do you know how to do that? Even you could do
I'm
that.
taking notes.
You
What,
know,
what
you
I'm
could-
hoping is
you
that since
could do
I'm in
that,
between
Doc.
all of them, they're going to let me eat the first plateful. So.
Oh,
Yes.
is that it? Well, be nice
Yes.
then. Now, Monica, what are all the goodies you got over there, girlfriend? We've got, we have what now, Deborah? Do we have that she's putting on
we
there?
have the spring mix in the salad.
Okay.
Spring
and
mix,
then we have feta cheese, crumbled,
feta cheese,
and we have cranberries,
Cranberries.
and we have glazed walnuts.
ooh, glazed walnut.
Another good source of
Yes,
omega-3 fatty acids, by the way.
absolutely.
Polyunsaturated fat.
And we have mandarin oranges, and I get them in the little single serving over in the fruit section of the store. And you can add fresh strawberries. You can really do any kind of fruit with this
Whatever's
salad.
in season to
Yes.
make that work. And this together is a real healthy meal, isn't it?
You know,
Dr.
Edie, I
Potts?
love this because it exemplifies for us the Mediterranean diet, really. Because the Mediterranean diet is probably the healthiest diet for your brain. It's also healthy for your heart and blood vessels. In fact, it's even probably good for diabetics for the most part.
Well, and that's true. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I know that, and that certainly affects what we've been talking about on the show today with Alzheimer's. isn't it?
Exactly. There's a connection between Alzheimer's disease and diabetes. It's thought. You know, it's thought that things that affect your blood vessels adversely also increase your risk for Alzheimer's disease and dementias. So we're talking about diabetes, hypertension that's untreated. We're talking about high cholesterol, and sleep apnea, being overweight. So we have many, many different ways, avenues that we can attack with a healthy diet.
Well, how does it also affect African Americans? We were talking about that earlier with one.
I'm glad you asked it because African Americans have a higher incidence of Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia than many other folks do. And it's not known why, but it is known that there is an association between some other diseases that are more common as well, like diabetes and hypertension. Wow. So through dietary changes and through exercise, etc., and through education, we can actually reduce the likelihood that somebody would get type 2 diabetes, that somebody would have stroke, that somebody would have heart attack, and that somebody would actually get Alzheimer's disease by the way we eat and by exercise.
Well, you know, I can see that, and it's something this simple. And I wanted our viewers out there to know that we've got this up on our screen, or they can go to our website. That's rxhealthylife.com. Easy little ingredients. You put a little garlic powder in there, a tablespoon of dried basil that she's put in with it, half teaspoon of salt, and you could have 2 to 4 salmon, really, and you have a nice meal for a couple of people. And you said you put a couple of 2 tablespoons of butter, and you use that. Yes. What did you get that was healthier?
It's the olive oil. It has olive oil in it.
Right.
Is that better, Doc?
Polyunsaturated fat. That's going to be better for you than saturated fat, true whole butter. Right.
Okay, and putting just a little olive oil in. Now, what's the difference with olive oil and canola oils?
Well, there's not much difference. I mean, the important thing is vegetable oils are good because they are polyunsaturated. Olive oil has a particularly high content of that good fat, so that's a good one to use. But vegetable oils in general, and eating not only that, brightly colored fruits and vegetables like we have here, nuts. These have antioxidants, which are good for our brain, heart, and blood vessels. So these are all good to combine together in a meal like this.
Well, and those walnuts give us a little protein also,
Absolutely,
right?
they do.
Well, Lord knows I need all the protein energy I can get at this time of the day. I don't know about
We
everybody
all
else.
do.
But, you know,
We
this
all
being
do.
such a simple recipe with all of our busy lifestyles of what we got, I first really want to say to everybody, first of all, tonight, being all together is thank you, Wanaka, for really being here. And she's a new addition. They're going to be doing some correspondence for us, getting some stories out there. And you're going to see that she also, Deborah, she can sing too. I want y'all to break into a little song, let everybody get a little taste, because she's also funny. I mean, I have a little funny people in my life. But you know,
you didn't tell me I was going to have to sing on the show.
Yeah, you know, come on.
Oh yeah, feel good. Oh yeah.
This is Holly, or Miss Clemente as her students call her, and they call her often because she's always there for them. No problem is too big or too small, because to Holly, you can't teach someone if you don't connect with them, and you can't connect with someone unless you truly care for them. Sometimes success starts when you go the extra mile to make sure someone else gets ahead. Virginia College, your success starts here.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.
And we hope that our viewers will tune in next week when we'll have more from Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles right here with Edie Hand and Dr. Daniel Potts.